32. Let's get to another 2024 Best Picture nominee, which is American Fiction, and it is directed by Cord Jefferson, stars Jeffrey Wright, Tracy Ellis Ross, John Ortiz, Sterling K. Brown, Keith David, Issa Rae, Adam Brody, Leslie Uggams, and a few others. And the synopsis is a novelist who's fed up with the establishment profiting from black entertainment uses a pen name to write a book that propels him into the heart of the hypocrisy and madness he claims to disdain. So this one I knew nothing about going in, just watched it in the last week for the first time. I thought the story was going to be completely different. I heard that there was a Thelonious Monk character, and so I was thinking it was more relating to music. That's how little I knew about it. And so went in pretty blind. But with that being said, I was very pleasantly surprised. While it wouldn't necessarily be top three of the nominees or best of the year, for me, I thought it was incredibly entertaining, refreshing. The writing, for whatever reason, felt so creative and flowed perfectly. The direction was strong. Jeffrey Wright, who I've always liked, is amazing in it. And Sterling K. Brown, fantastic character actor. I love him in everything. He's excellent, and everybody's good again. And for anyone who is unfamiliar, the overall premise, besides just the synopsis, is he is this black novelist who writes these very complex, rich, poignant stories, but he can't really sell much, and he's always hating on these sort of mainstream commercial writers who are indulging in black stereotypes but getting bestseller sales and all that sort of thing. And so as a joke, he writes this very, very crude, low-lying sort of story and that indulges in all those really bad stereotypes and cliches about black people, and then the publisher loves it. And then his agent is trying to get him to go along with it, and they give him a pseudonym, and basically he presents himself as a black convict or a former convict, and then he's put on these different boards for literature awards, and he's having to hide this identity, this secret identity, because everyone around him is reading this new book that he wrote that he thinks is trash, but it's doing really, really well. So it was a very creative, and I know it's based off a book, which I would be curious to read, but it is very, not super deep, but I thought that the commentary there, the satire there was on point for sure. It never really missed a mark, in my opinion, and you could call it heavy-handed, but it's sometimes that's important, and you need to just be heavy-handed, and you don't always need it to be crazy subtle either. So it was a very, very refreshing, enjoyable experience, and one that more people should watch, because it is very true, unfortunately, in terms of what gets the attention commercially, what doesn't, and then who you are as a writer or an artist, and people coming to certain conclusions about who you are, your background, your education, all of that, and how that feeds back into your presence and identity as a celebrity, an artist. So all that really worked for me. A great lead performance for Jeffrey Wright, because he's usually a supporting character, minor character, and I'm really glad that he got the spotlight for this one because he is top notch. Besides that, Issa Rae, love her. I actually saw her at a Sundance press conference in, I think, 2017 or 2018, so I actually got to see her speak way back when, and I've really liked her ever since, and she's excellent as the sort of mainstream writer in the story who's battling Jeffrey Wright's ideas in terms of what's art and what's meaningful and how to be a proper quote-unquote black writer and all that sort of thing. And also everything with his mother, Jeffrey Wright's mother, and her getting Alzheimer's and him having to deal with that. And then also the brother, played by Sterling K. Brown, being fairly distant because of the very bad upbringing that they had, and him battling with those emotions. And also the discussion, one that really got me was Sterling K. Brown, that is, he is gay, and he's talking about to Jeffrey Wright how upset he is that his father, who he did not love or get along with, never knew that, and he never knew the real him. And so that kind of gave him, despite the father being against that, and moments like that were very, very grounded and very real and very poignant and thoughtful in terms of, because I've known plenty of people like that in my life and still do now in terms of that parent child relationship, and especially if it's a strained one. So it's very, very well thought out. And I am very interested to see what he does next. So that is a heavy 4 out of 5.